Om Sri Haridraye Namah Tubhyam Samarpayami Namah Om Sinduram Raktam Saubhagyam Sukha Sampadam Sinogradeta Sarva Deva Deva Virat Rupa Krishnam Pujanam Pitra Devaya Avahiyami Padyami Vasudevaye Namah Govindaye Namo Namachana Om Vasudevaye Namah Tubhyam Samarpayami Chandanenam. Take your finger and mix it up there. Om Sri Kanda Chandanam Divyam Gandayam Samnoharam Vailepanam Surasreshta Putani Murti, and then you put on the flower. Sri Kanda Chandanam Divyam Gandayam Samnoharam Vailepanam Surasreshtam Chandanam Pratigrihatam Tubhyam Samarpayami Namah Om Sri Kanda Chandanam Divyam Gandayam Samnoharam Vailepanam Surasreshtam Gandam Griyana Devasya Deva Deva Dayanidhi Tvameva Jagatam Natasyam Tvameva Jagatam Prabhu Tubhyam Samarpayami Nama Om. Therefore we'll leave on the sadhikal sari. Om Tridalam Trigunakaram Trinityam Cha Triyayudham Trijanma Papa Sanharanaya Belpatram Shiva Arpanam Tubhyam Samarpayami Nama Om. Malikadi Sugandhani Malityeti Neve Prabhu Mahatani Pushpanjalam Pratigrihatam Tambulam Surpujitam Pratya Pratya Pratigrihatam Tubhyam Samarpayami Namah Om Deva Patram Tubhyam Sharva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sharvata Sadhike Sharane Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namaskute Tubhyam Om Lighted Diade Shantakaram Bhujagashranam Padmanadam Sudeshwaram Vishwadharam Gaganasadi Sammikavaranam Subhagam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Vidyanagamiyan Vande Vishnu Bharvaiharanam Sarvaloke Kanatanam Om Sarvaloke Kanatanam Vipadanam Tubhyam Om Namastute Namastute Mahamayi Surpujite Samsatan Sindhuram. Shankara Chakra Gajadhara Pundariaks. No, not please write wrong, Babaji. Samarpayami Namah Om. It is said that this Krishna Puja is more valuable, greater in Pitras than the Puja, because here we are praying for life. Life, you know how life is, you have no body. And the life stream that we come from, we are connecting and praying and asking. So all this will be bestowed upon you. That's why the Vedas tell you, Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Mother and father become the first God. Right? Then the Guru, then the guest, and then God come last. How you could love something? You have the one in front of you here, and we are loving that. You could love something that you never see and you never know, and you want to follow blindly. Right? So therefore, because God has sent these, they are the mother and father, the representations of God, because they nurture us, take care of us. Right? When He couldn't come, He embodied them to carry the burden, right, for us, for the continuation of this. And when we turn, when we become big, grown up, and our muscle becomes strong, we could walk. So tell them, stay quiet, all our people old. What are you talking? Only I know nothing. It's a new time. Eh? We forsake them all the sacrifices they make. So it becomes very important. That is why at this time, the heavenly worlds are open the door for the ancestral worship. I don't mean it's only food coming down here, you know, and go take over the earth. No. Whatever offering you make, it will go up into that loka. Right? And because of the sunshine also, that sunshine is that third Purusha, right? is that asatoma, is that like the cosmo light, the energy light. That sun energizes the entire universe, and each and every objects upon this earth depend upon that sun. The sun is your eyesight, the sun is your energy, the sun is your digestive system, the sun which helps the circulation of the blood, and the sun, that heat energy leaves in the body become cold. That is why when you do that worship to the sun every day, right? Because the sun sends that energy to all the grahas, all the planets. And when you receive that energy direct from the sun, then we cross that grahas. Grahas will not affect you. But you have to be doing that daily, throughout life, to break all that. Because then you are drawing that energy with that. But that don't mean to say you will disrespect the grahas. Because we're still under the influence of the grahas. But to cross those grahas and to have that blessing, and when doing those worship, you shine, you become brilliant like the sun, golden knowledge. Sickness and all those things don't affect you because that kavach, that force field of that energy around you. That is why bhakti becomes important. Not the mechanical bhakti, not come and put in all this, no. Concentration of that mind and the japa and the mantra must, must be instilled within you. Then, because what we are doing is one more mechanical, right? And after that, what happened? We go back down to the normal thing, and we kick somebody, laugh, and they carry on like that. That's all that's good. But we get carried back in the world. So that constant repetitions of that, because in the Mahabharata, it was given to us that Kunti Devi get a mantra from a rishi, because when when she take care of the rishi and he was very pleased with her, and he gave her a blessing. Well, ask of a boon, I'm leaving now. He said, well, I'll give you a mantra anytime you want a child. You just recite that mantra. And she went to her bank, a river, and she recited that mantra, and the current come into the Mahabharata war. And the power, but she get that sun mantra. And he was shining a brilliant like the sun. And the child had that stamp of that Surya upon. So these are the powers of the mantra. Just tell you that in short, these are the powers of the mantra. So Baba will take us more into the discourse. So we will continue the puja. Alright, offer the dubras. Kanda paro hanti paro hashparivna durve parantu saras ina chatu dhyam samarpayami nama. Om kanda paro hanti paro hashparivnu durve parantu saras ina chatu dhyam samarpayami nama. Om जगजो पवित्रम प्रजापते शुभ्रम जगजो पवित्रम बाल स्तुति जे नमः ओम वेद सुक्ते समयुक्ते समास अजर कलसव ओम कलशकंते ओम जगजो पवित्रम प्रजापति शुभ्रम जगजो पवित्रम बाल सुब्रह्मणे नमः तुभ्यां समर्पयामि नमः ओम ओम वेद सुक्ते समायुक्ते समासंवते सर्ववर्णावसि देवैवसि सै प्रतिगृहतां तुभ्यं समर्पयामि नमः ओम तांबूलं सुरपूजितं प्रतिया प्रतिगृहतां तुभ्यं समर्पयामि नमः ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय देवै देवा वसुदेवाय देवहि देवा वसुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नागिन्दहराय त्रिलोचनाय मृत्युंजया नमः शिवाय बेलपत्रं तुभ्यं समर्पयामि नमः ॐ सर्वमंगलमंगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमस्तुते ह्रीं कृष्णाये नमः तुभ्यं समर्पयामि नमः ॐ सर्वरोगनिवारणाय जन्मकर्मानिवारणाय तुभ्यं समर्पयामि नमः मालिकादि सुगंधनि माल्यति नैवे प्रभु माया हृतानि पुष्पंजलं प्रतिगृहतां तुभ्यं समर्पयामि नमः ॐ श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा बाबा जी दूरी हवा ना अच्छा हाँ ठीक है क्या सही है like this Again mile prohitam yajyasya deva vritvajam hutaram ratnadatam aganaye nama idam nama avahiyami padyami pudyami nama om. Alright, we do a little healy fire. Om Prajapate Namah Swaha. Take this campfire, light it and put it in the ghee, then you go melt it. Light that there, put it in the ghee. Light it in the bath, you go on your hand. Flame it. Right, you go melt it. Om Prajapate Namah Swaha. No, pull it and you go melt it down. Somaye Namah Swaha. Indraye Namah Swaha. Brihaspatyaye Namah Swaha. Sri Guru Charana Kamalabhyo Namah Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Swaha. Sri Kesavaye Namah Swaha. Sri Madhavaye Namah Swaha. Sri Brahmaye Namah Swaha. Om Bhu Swaha. Om Bhuva Swaha. Om Swa Swaha. Om Maha Swaha. Om Janaha Swaha. Om Tapaha Swaha. Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodaya Apo Jyoti Raswamitam Brahma Bhurvaswaro Swaha Mityaye Namah Swaha Raviye Namah Swaha Suryaye Namah Swaha Bhanave Namah Swaha Kagaye Namah Swaha Pushyave Namah Swaha Hiranyagarvaye Namah Swaha Madhiche Namah Swaha Adityaye Namah Swaha Arkaraye Namah Swaha Savitraye Namah Swaha Suryano Grahadevta Bhyo Namah Swaha Om Rangraye Namah Swaha Som Sormaye Namah Swaha Bhaumaye Namah Swaha Om Bambudhaye Namah Swaha Om Gum Gurave Namah Swaha Om Shan Shukraye Namah Swaha Om Shan Shanishcharaye Namah Swaha Om Rangrahave Namah Swaha Om Dumraketu Namah Swaha Om Hrim Bhatukaya Rapadudvaranaya Kuru Kuru Bhatukaya Hrim Om Namah Shivaya Swaha Om Sri Satyanaraya Namah Swaha Om Dhum Durgaye Namah Swaha. Alright, little by little we'll do 108 Sri Krishna, right? Sri Krishna Namah Swaha in the fire, so everybody take that opportunity. 3 times you got enough for that, right? Oh. Five times. Okay. Om 5 times each everybody. Om Krim Krishnaye Namah Swaha. 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 Om Krim Krishnaye Namah. Sing a whole Pitri from the off. Om Krim Krishnaye Namah Swaha. Om Om Krim Krishnaye Namah Swaha. 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 All right. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Samkantachanumardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru Sarvapitra Sarvadevaya Tubhyam Pitamaha Pitamahi Swadha Namo Swadha Vikara Pitraye Namah Swaha Kula Pitraye Namah Swaha Dharma Pitraye Namah Swaha Sarva Pitra Sarva Deva Bhyo Namah Swaha. Of all in the fire. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavi Brahmagano Brahmahutam Brahmatina Vaidyancha Brahma Karma Samadhina Sarva Pitra Sri Krishna Vasudeva Janatanam Namo Namah Swaha. Water on the fire. Papo ham papa karma papa sambhava Rai mama pundari kaksham Sarva papa haru hari Krim Krishna Bhagwan ki Jai Vasudeva Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Tvade Hai Twinkly water vi parsa Sri Krishna Bhagwan Om Tvade Ravastu Govind Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavi Brahmagano Brahmahutam Brahmatine Vaikancha Brahma Karma Samadhina Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purakshyate Purnasya Purnadhya Purnameva Vashishyate Krim Krishna Govinda Namo Nama Bhojanam Prasadam Tubhyam Samarpayami Nama Om Krishna Arpanam Pitra Arpanam. Krishna Bhagavan, we ask you this prayer, may that prayer that manifest in the fruit towards our ancestors wherever they are. Because they are surely in your custody. Whichever the loka, wherever they may take birth, what if they may take birth already, in whatever life form, we pray for the upliftment of the soul at this time. Because we on earth, we become like a lawyer to represent them. Right? Because we come from that dynasty stream, it's called Puluriti. Right? So within that Puluriti, that's why the Sankalap, they are asking to take your name and your date of birth and place. Right? And what Puluriti family lineage you come from. So we pray and ask at all times. Before wedding take place, there is a small Pitri puja also to get the blessing from the ancestors again. So we cannot function without, because we carry the name of the ancestor. Right? And we are coming down from that lineage into this earth and to have that blessing. So when they are suffering or whatever take place and we are not freeing them, because Bhagirathi spent 60,000 years to free their grandfather from the wrath and the curse of Kapilu Rishi. And such is the power of this Pitri Paksh, freeing the soul of our ancestors. Right? That is why this puja and prayer is greater and bigger, because it is life-giving energy prayer. Right? To where we come from. And we have also come from that Purusha, that light, that's Asatoma, that Sat Gamai, right? That purity, that light, that divinity that descends upon earth, that the five elements have been nourished by the same Krishna Bhagavan, holy planet, everything, by that glow and that light. So there comes the Trigona, the Sato, Rajo, Tamu, and the whole scripture and the Vedas and everything, all the Puranas, everything deals with that same tree, the Sato, Rajo, Tama. And when we fall in the Tamu, that is why we have to strive, we have to do that bhakti again and again. That is why the Himalayas master composed that song, that bhajan, Ati Mukti ko banate chalo, Pyari Govinda Gopal gate chalo. Because that manifestations of that form, that 34 billion manifestations of Bhagavan Krishna, that Virat Roop form, which brings everything into place, the flowers, the leaf, the bird, the grass, every individual thing you see upon it is energized by that God. That's why Ramayana come back and tell you, see Arama Mai Sabha Jagat Jani. See me into every living entity being my energy represent there. And these energies are put there for the help and assistance of all souls upon here, for it to function and uplift themselves. Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Pass your word to Baba.
Yeah.
Manakra Vachan. You know, what's Manakra Vachan? Soap is good. Soap is good. Soap. Ticket by you?
Om Nana Rutna Sumayuktam Karataswara Vibhushanam Asanam Deva Devasya Pratyartha Pratagritam Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara. Take down the saffron. Put on the root of the grass, middle of the grass, and top of the grass. Use your finger, use your finger. Om Hari Brasava Brahma Bhasa Viraso Bhagi Bhayani Sarvalankar Mukyan Devi Tum Pratishtatam Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sinduram Savaram Rektam Saubhagya Priyoranam Sukudhan Mokshanam Cheva Sikudhan Pratishtatam Chanda. Om Sri Tanu Chandamandri Sudra Chandanam Pratishtatam Tokyo. Om Dhanda Dhanda Grihani Devasya Deva Deva Dhayani Dhi. Take flowers now and decorate right around the bottom of the cup. Om Malika Nandini Male Mevanduhu Maya Hirtani Puja Yortam Sri Pushpani Pratishtatam Malika Shugandhini Male Mevanduhu Maya Hirtani Puja Yortam Pratishtatam Hari Om Tat Sat. Arti.
And then do our arti.
Just take one at the end. Om Yani Kani Chapapani Janmayarti Kritani Chay Tani Tani Vinashayanti Sri Pradakshina Pidi Pidi. Om Sri Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara. Hari Om Tat Sat. Right. Now stand up. Take what they need.
Which flowers?
Come here closer. No, put
On that chair. So you're the bag.
Right, very good, very good. Go ahead. Om Sarvamatra Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarvapita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. No forward, back. Go ahead. Om Sarvapitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. About you. Alright, come on, everybody 3 times. Sarva Matri Pitri Aye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Matri Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. So you offer for all on your mother's side, all on your father's side, and all who didn't get up in that. And I offer you until actually come next. Om Sarva Matri Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. So when you're offering home in the morning, there's 15 offering you're offering.
15.
Yeah. 5 for Matri, 5 for Pita, and 5 for anybody who didn't get the offering.
Only for the church.
Om Sarva Matri Pitriyaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pitriyaye Namah Swaha. Go ahead. Sarva Matri Pitriyaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Matri Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pita Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. Sarva Pitri Devtaye Namah Swaha. सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः ओम सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा ओम सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा ब्रह्मा विष्णु लक्ष्मी नेक्स्ट सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः आरती everybody come जय कृष्ण हरे Hare Krishna Hare Dukkhiyo Dukkha you want to come and talk about that? Come. Jai Krishna Hare सर्वमातृपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपिता पितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा सर्वपितृदेवताय नमः स्वाहा Come tomorrow, we will start the 5 for each one and then so it will take 50. Will I stop and Masha and you continue? Arti. Jai Krishna Hare
Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyon ko dukha dur kare Jai 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 Krishna Hare Jab charat rab
invocation, and from the time when they reach, the water and everything will be right here. Make your 15 offering, 5 for on your mother's side, 5 on the father's side, and 5 for all offering. So the invocation on the grass is Brahma on the root of the grass, Lord Shiva in the middle, and um, no, Lord Vishnu in the middle, and Lord Shiva is on top. Right, let's sing a song, boy. Yeah? When tomorrow? Yeah. Om Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Haring Aing Haring Saraswati Namaha. Om Sri Guru Charan Kamale Bhyo Namo Namaha. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirabhavati bharatam abhyutanam dharmasya tiratmanam srijanyaham panitranaya sadhunam vinashaya chandu sritam dharma sansarpanathayam shambhavani yuge yuge yam brahma varu indra rodra marutah sturvanti devyahi save verahi sangapada krupanishade gayanti yam samagam dhyanavashtitatadhagatena manasam pashyanti yam yoginom yashyantam na vidu sura suraganaham devaya tasmai namaham. Om sahana bhavatu sahano bhanaktu saha vidyam karvavahe tejasvinavarhitamastu ma vidvishabhe. Om samukasya ekadantasya kapilo gajakarnakam lambodarasacha vikto viganashum ganadipatye namaham. Om Dhumraketu Ganayaksho Balachandrakajyanaham Dvadeshtani Namami Yatsrinudyapim Vidyarambe Vivahe Cha Pravishe Nirgamitatham Sangrami Sankate Che Evam Viganamatasya Na Jayate. Om Sri Ganesha Bhagwan Ki Jai. ॐ गं गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया ॐ गं गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया गं गणपते नमो नमः
सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया
ॐ गं गणपतिये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया ॐ गं गणपतिये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया गं गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया. Is 8 minutes past 8 or 9? My clock saying here 20 past 9.
Something wrong.
प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. So children of God, you know, if I know this so far, प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. श्री भगवान उवाचम् सधु पृष्टं त्वयं भद्रां मनुष्यं हिताया वयं श्रीनुष्वावहितो भूत्वा सत्वरवमीं भेदाध्यापीं धेहि कामना. Sri Bhagavan Uvacham. And so Lord Krishna is telling, O gentle one, you have put up the right set of questions, and two for the general good of the people. Now hear attentively, as I shall tell you the rites to be performed just after that. It is without any controversy, quoted. We have heard from the sages in general. Now I ask you, hero, these have been quoted in the Shrutis and the Smritis. It has not been heard by the gods, including Lord Indra. So it means that Lord Krishna is going to reveal these knowledge for the very first time. So he is saying that this message have not been conveyed by anyone. So, O Garud, O great accomplishment, I shall tell you about this, since you are my devotee. So he is saying here that the sons can take the father out of hell. If he cannot get him salvation, the son put him on the shoulder to coffin, and the grandsons lights the fire. So, devotees and friends, it is telling to us here that when one dies, or when you're about to know, in those days of the writing of the Garud Puran, people used to know when the life breath is going to leave. So, what they used to do is that they used to take the gobar and they used to make a big circle. And they make that circle and there they place the dead person, the person who is dying, in the middle there. And there Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva reside in that circle. So when you see um, we put the fire and we make that circle with the gobar on the day of the funeral, it is there Brahma, Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and again Devta reside in that circle. So, my dear friends, it says if a circle is not drawn, the deceased person, whether a child, a youth, or old, does not get into the womb but remains in the air, O Garud. It says he remains in Ghostwood. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. He may not be born soon, but live in the air for some time. He received no offering of Shraddha, no liberation of water like what we did here from his relatives. So, children of God, it tells to us here that the white sesame seed and the black sesame seed, you know, they help remove the sins of the committed by the deceased. So, what it's telling to us here is that there must be preparation. The gobar is purification. Brahma, Vishnu, Lord Shiva, creator, sustainer, reabsorber. And so we have Lakshmi Mata, who is the one who will enlighten all. And then you have again Devta, who will really take the message straight across. It is telling us that the black till is very, very important because the black till will help us. The black till helps to bring the consciousness of Bhagavan Vishnu into our hearts. Right. So, this is very important that you know. It says that Brahma stays at the root of the Darba grass. So Brahma is at the root. That is why I made you all to bow and put the sindur 3 places. So we install Brahma at the root of the grass. Janardhana, who is Lord Vishnu, is at the middle of the grass. And Shankara is at the point of the Darbar on top, the peak. Thus the 3 deities are said to be stationed in the Darbar. So, devotees and friends, when we plant this grass for the Pitri Paksh, we must understand that is 3 deities that you're installing there: Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. It has nothing to do with any individual Pitri. No one by name, you know. So, all these offerings for the Pitris go to Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. If you go to call names again, my dear friends, you will call name, and if you miss out any name, you know when you're saying thank you, what does happen? And you miss out one name, what happened? That one person does be so angry that sometimes they don't talk to you. So you know if you're going through all these names of the Pitris and you miss out one of them and one of them become angry, what happened to you? And it says when the Pitris are angry with you, your whole life will be really hindered. You have to seek. This is why you're seeking here to satisfy the Pitris, so that your life will be happier. This is not for the Pitris to come and eat and drink and all of that. You know. This is, we are making an offering so that they will be happy.
Meaning, wherever the good vibration goes, wherever they, if they are into pain, a body with pain and all of that, then, my dear friends, it would not work. So it says the mantras, the sacred grass, again Devta and Tulsi are never spoiled. Though used again and again, the Tulsi, the Brahmin, the cows, Vishnu and Ekadasi never spoil. It cannot be tarnished. It could have that, it could have what, it could have whatever you want. So, my dear friends, that is why you will see sometimes some of the devotees want to give a Tulsi plant. Because in all conditions, the Tulsi remains pure. So you think if you put the Tulsi leaf in Ganesh thing, it's going to be pure still? If it says in all occasion, even in death, Tulsi remains pure, I don't know where she will go and be impure. So it says, these gods, these are the gods for us, my dear friends. The sesame seed, the dharba grass, the Tulsi plant, Lord Vishnu, Ekadasi, the Gita, Tulsi, Brahmin, the cows. All these are our shield. All these are our fortress. But my dear friends, we make very little use of it. These are our gods. But it tells to us, this we do not really know, because in this age and time, we cannot determine when the life force is leaving. So everything that is being said here should be done as soon as you know that your loved one have died. But should in case you see a loved one is lingering on, Garud Puran tells to us that salt has come out from the body of Lord Vishnu. Hence, yogis recommend a gift of salt, placing the same over all other gifts. So again, let us ask you: should you put salt as a gift in Siddha? Well, my dear friends, Garud Puran tells to us, salt is very much effective for the destruction of our sins. Also, when we give salt, the salt goes for the mains. That is like if the soul is wandering, if you have not your loved one, any wandering souls around, when you give that salt, they are satisfied and they move along. It says that if even one life is lingering on, whether you are Brahmin, whether you are Kshatri, Vaishya, or Sudra, or whether you're masculine or feminine, you should donate salt, and then the doors of the heavens will be open. It tells us again, Krishna Bhagwan is telling, he says, O Garud, he says, when the hour of death approaches, then by chance a certain disease raise up its head. He says the organs grow weak, trouble start showing their powers, as if all of a sudden millions of scorpions have stung the person. O Guruji, the person begins to feel the prank or the pains of death. At the very hour, his consciousness is replaced by unconsciousness. Prem se bole Sri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. So, my dear friends, when you hear people saying that it seems as though this person knew that they were going to die, yes, Garud Puran tells us they feel the pain of death before death actually reach. So there they will be able, there they will be getting, that vision of the loved one, the dead one, and all of that. And then it tells to us here, then the body is now become unconscious. And the Yamadhutas come. There, my dear friends, when the Yamadhutas come, also will be your devatas, which you have pujaed all your life long. But if you puja the world more, then you have no other choice, but you will go with the Yamdut, and there you will have to go through all the description of hell that we talk about. But we can remember there was a young man by the name of Gunanidhi. And the death of Yama came for him, but he did a service just before his death to the Shivlingam. And there the Shiva Dhutas also came for him. And they had a big discussion, and they were able to win over, take him to Shiva abode, Kailash Parvat, prepare him then, and then present it to the Lord. So, it is not always that we will have to go through all this hellish condition that is given here. But even though, if we have to go through all the hellish condition, does Atma really get any pain? Does Atma get pain? No. Bhagavad Gita now tells to us, and this is why Bhagavad Gita becomes very important to help us understand Garud Puran. It tells to us that water cannot destroy Atma. Fire cannot destroy Atma. No sophisticated weapon could affect Atma. So, my dear friends, if water, fire, or weapon cannot destroy Atma, then tell me, why will it be afraid of hell? It cannot. So, children of God, we must understand that what is afraid of death is this body and not Atma. Why Atma is not afraid of death? Atma is not afraid of death because it is not born. And if it is not born, it's not going to die. It is always here, So, we need to understand now what happens. Who is this human body? This human body, my dear friends, is of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. The earth now takes the outer component, and veins and all of that will come and create this body. Tomorrow we'll do few verses of Bhajo Govindam and few verses of Viveka Chudamani, which will help us to understand this body. This body is what is temporary with its structure. But earth go back to earth and fire to fire. Everything goes back to its respective place. So there are 2 things which we fearful for when death should come. And that is, what gifts should we give? And what will be my punishment? Not so? That's the only 2 things. And today, sometimes we do understand that if I do have an umbrella, and if I do have a slippers, and if I do have a sponge, to give the priest who is doing the devotion, for and on behalf of my ancestors, they would not get realization. Not so, Rafi? If we ain't get sponge, if we ain't get the 5 piece of gold, if we get slippers, if we get pillow, if we get a suit of clothes, then a lamp, then sure, we love one going to hell. But what about if somebody can't afford that? Well, each gift has its merit, according to the Garud Puran. And tomorrow we'll go into details in that. We run a little bit late today, so I just went through a few of the first verses to just make an introduction to get going. So tomorrow we'll learn about the merits. But, my dear friends, Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 26 tells to us, and Lord Krishna, when somebody dies, all the offering going to Lord Krishna, and we still the judgment that. But Lord Krishna tell to me in the Bhagavad Gita, he say, if you offer to me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or some water, if you offer that with love, I will accept that from the devotee. Rafi boy, if you go to do a 10 days and they offer you flowers, fruits, and all of that, and nothing more, you're vexed, eh? Well, some of them would, they go quarrel from the time they leave the river until they reach home, and they'll never come to none of your prayers or none of your family prayers. Again, my dear friends, Garud Puran tells to us, if you have no gifts to give, and you have salt and water, which is two commodity everybody will have home, and you give that salt and that water as the gift, you say all the stress will move from the loved one part, and they will continue on their journey. Prem Sabal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. So, children of God, we have to be very careful how we move in this Kali age. So, if gifts have been the problem, then Lord Krishna help us out there. Offer to me a leaf, a flower, fruit, some water. Once you offer it with love, I'll accept that. The dachana for the Pandit who does the part is very important. Because all our scriptures tell to us, Guru Dachana and the Brahmin Dachana is very, very, very important. But the Guru, neither the Brahmin, is supposed to tell to you a price, how much you have to give them. The moment they does that, that is calling selling the scriptures. And that is what the Kali Yuga Mahima Katha tells to us, that in this Kali age, the people who is claiming to be the Brahmins, they will sell the scriptures. It doesn't mean they're going to sell a Ramayana book. It is the contents of the book they're going to sell. Some of us, if we have to read a Ramayana for you, so much for my song system, so much for my drama, so much for this, so much for that, so much for that, and so much for me. No, they just say, well, whatever you want to give to me now, you could give me. We are selling the scriptures. Today, we have hardly anybody coming out to support the scriptures. Hardly anybody coming to project and to promote the scriptures. And it is a sad thing. What we are promoting is ourselves. If you know how sometimes when you hear a member on my stage there, when I am taking the lead and officiating, and they're knocking a mic and they're telling the song man, I ain't hearing it. What you come here to do? Professional? No. If you are hearing the mic, still sing. You're singing for God. He hearing you. You know, up to this point in time, I have been doing Ramayana from the time I was about 14 years old. And I've never complained to any song system, man. I hear my voice. And sometimes I hardly even I hear it myself sometimes because the box and them just not. But no, I'm not singing for the box. I am singing for God. You know, so we need to understand what caused our entanglement. So we get punishment. You know, nobody do thief honeybee again, honey again. So it tells to us in the Garud Puran. I just reading a few for you. You say if you thief corn, you become a rat. Nobody ain't thieving corn now. We had too much of corn to go and buy and spend a few dollars. It says that if you steal plants, you have a price to pay. If you take somebody food, you're uninvited and you go and you eat somebody food, you become a crow. You say if you steal utensils, you become a vulture. If you steal fruits, you become a honeybee. See, if you be hostile to your teacher, you will have epilepsy in your next life. It says the one who performs cruel deeds becomes very short, become dwarf. He who discards his wife becomes an animal to be killed by a hunter. He who snatches the possession of a deity or a Brahmin suffers from jaundice. He who eats meats becomes a leper in their next life. You know the leper? Leper? I think them like plenty meat. He who does not return the deposit becomes one-eyed. He who lives on the earning of his wife sometimes become lame. So my dear friends, all of these things, you know, he who disturbs a marriage is born as mosquito. It mean you're going to break up somebody's marriage, eh? It mean a wedding ceremony going on here and you liming and playing the tassa and everything else there. So we have plenty mosquitoes to come later down the road. He who eats stale food becomes a worm. He who does not give gifts become a bull. Someone who steals a cow become a serpent. Who steals water becomes a fish. He who gives stale food to the Brahmin becomes hunchback. He says, if anyone eats alone without giving a morsel of his food to anyone else, he becomes issueless. He who promises but does not give it to the Brahmins becomes a jackal. He who earns the blame of the people becomes a tortoise. So you see, my dear friends, I just read a few of these and it have plenty more. But a treacherous fellow suffers from headache. So some way, some like all of us was treacherous a little bit because we just get headache now and then. Sometimes we just see Ravi running in and looking for Panadol by Krishna. So, what all of this means? If we leave this to this, then all of us know that we go into a lower species in life. Because somewhere, somehow, we commit some of these wrongs. It have one somewhere, if you steal honey, what you becomes? Well, I don't steal honey, sometimes I just steal condensed milk. But it's still stealing. So what this means, and tomorrow I'm going to deal with that at length, and we call it atonement. But you cannot want to make a mistake and have the atonement done and then go back and make the same mistake again. So this is just one little few verses from this, this second chapter of the Preet Khand. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. It says a person who tells lies and gives false evidence goes to the hell known as Raurava. It says Raurava is 2000 yojans in measurement, and there is a deep pit like the knee height, difficult to cross. It says it is level up to the ground by a heap of burning coal, and the ground there is well heated by fire. And that tells to us that if you give and you tell lies and you give false evidence, you're going to be born in the desert. Because in the desert, the ground will be hot. Yeah. So, children of God, all these punishment is just to let us know that we have to be very careful of the type of actions that we perform. But Swami Abhedananda, in one of his beautiful discourses, he have given to us how to atone ourselves when we commit the wrongs. And I think this is what, what is the sense I'm telling to you that I'm going to turn a woman, I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to turn that? And at some given point in time, all of us eat stale food. So we have to know how to atone ourselves. So to atone yourself from that and not wanting to become a worm, you know that we had to cook food just only to last for 3 hours. After 3 hours, food starts to deteriorate. And I can tell to you, when you reach a certain level of devotion, if you eat fridge food, your whole stomach give you trouble until it get out. And that does happen to me. I can eat a fruit from the fridge, but once the food is overnight, or from morning to evening, I get sick. And Primity will tell to you, in 2018 when I got sick and I had to do the surgery, and when I was coming out of the anesthetic, the doctor was talking to me, and all of that, I tell you, he questioning me and trying to get me back out of the anesthetic. And there is your subconscious mind has come up. And they were hearing, I didn't know what I was saying, but the subconscious mind was saying. And I told them, I said, I love my wife very much, but doctor tells she don't give me any stale food. No fridge food, because I can't eat the fridge food. After that, all my sister and everybody started laughing at me, but that was the subconscious mind. Prem Sabole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki. So I don't give Anushka, I don't give Primity, I don't give Kandika no trouble for food. When it is, I go chip a little tomatoes and eat a biscuit with that, and I good to go. And that is why I stopped buying food. Although some of the parlors that sell the food, they know me as Pandit and they're very clean and everything else. But some of them just have the food there from overnight and they just warm it up the next morning and start selling it back. And I just get sick, so I stop. Prem Sabole Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki. So devotees and friends, atonement is very important. And all of this that we see here, it's so good to help us to redirect our lives, It tells us here too also that a person who accepts a vow during the course of sacrifice should not break that vow. You see how we accept that vow to do the Ganesh Vrat for 1 year? We must try ourselves and not to break that Vrat there. Because it will then give you difficulties that which will lead you to become very weak in life. If you really read this book, all you're crying. Prem Sabole Shri Ganesha Bhagwan ki Jai. So, my dear friends, we are going to do some more of Garud Puran tomorrow. I have prepared quite a lot, but I didn't want to start as we was a bit late today, and I just deal with some of the punishment that comes, some of the things which should be done when we die. When we die, you know for a fact that you have to get that spot lippy there. You know, now I see they put in a cloth and they lip in the cloth so that they just roll up the cloth and the people place and go mess again. But all that is good because it still have the gobar and the body is over there. But you have to make sure that that which is the body standing on is on that cloth. So we learned this evening that you must be able to draw that circle and get it corrected with the gobar and the kush grass. We learned this evening again that the kush grass does not represent anybody. I mean any physical person. It represents Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. And that is important to understand. Um, right? And that comes from chapter 2 of Pret Kand, verses 21 to 23. So, my dear friends, what I'm telling to you here is not what I feel to tell to you. Then, from again, the second chapter of Pret Kand, verses 32, it tells you how important salt is and that the gift of salt surpasses all the other gifts that you could give. Prem Sibuli Shinam Chanda Bhagavani Ki. So you say because salt is salt, don't put it in the seedha. Give them grains, give them sugar, give them aloo, give them all of that. But no, don't put no salt, no. Them already kill you if you put salt in that seedha. But my dear friends, the Garud Puran, Pret Kand, verse number 32, 31, 32, and 33 tells to you that salt, the gift of salt, surpasses all other gifts. And this is not an extract of the Garud Puran. There is a little book that most people read from right now, which is an extract of the Garud Puran. They really condense it night, but it does not have the details as this would have it. I think that book just have 18 chapters. And this Garud Puran is 2 volumes. R.C. Prasad made it in 3 volumes. It is 3 parts. You have the medicine, you have everything else, then you have one part which is Pret Kand, and then you have the next part which is Moksha Kand, which teach you how to get liberation. And all our Puranas are set like that. First part telling you about astrology and all of that, and then the last part telling you about, and then the middle part tell you about the actual changes that we need to make in our lives. So if anybody got scared today, I didn't mean to do it. I just want to show punishment. But punishment, everything which creates and causes punishment, must have atonement. Hinduism does not cast us to hell. Hinduism gives us the opportunity to correct ourselves. And that is the difference between Hinduism and all the other paths that come along. Any question before we close? Hmm? No. That's why it is cooked salt food, so the salt food already there. If you can cook some food, then you put a little pong of salt and leave it there. Because why you the wind go take the fragrance of the salt. So you see, the whole system came into being, that the less fortunate creatures will be able to partake of the food with the salt. But if you leave salt alone there, no less fortunate creature ain't going to touch that salt. Right? So what happens when you put the food out? Vayu, the wind, will take the fragrance of the salt and carry it. That is why it is put it outside and not the table inside. Right? Here, when you offer the turpan now, the turpan is, turpan vibration goes like this. You offer the gel. Does the gel remains right there? No. Surya, the sun, will come and absorb that gel which you offer, the water. It will go up, condensation will take place, and rain will fall, benefit people, and it will evaporate again and continue to go. So when you do turpan offering, it has no end to it. It continues. And that is why I tell everybody, when you do when you're going to offer turpan or you're going to offer gel in the morning, and a little vexation come in your mind, do go and offer the gel again. Sit down until you're calm and then go. Because if you offer it, the more that you offer it is, that is what the Lord is going to get. That is what the universe is going to understand. And that vexation will evaporate, it will go up, it will come back down. That's the kind of rain that has caused trouble. So you see how much people disturb, and they still offering turpan and everything else. That's why the world has so much of flood and all of that, because the water coming back to cause the trouble. So the mode in which you offer your turpan is very, very important. So many people come and offer to the grass, and oh, they hold on the grass and they start to cry, "Oh, Papa, please accept this for me and forgive me for what I do," and all of that. You go reach, you reach wherever Papa is. But it tell to you in chapter 9, verse 24 of the Bhagavad Gita. It's not that it won't reach, it go reach. Chapter 9, verse 24. 25. Verse 25 says, the worshippers of the devas or the gods go to the devas. The worshippers of the Pitris or the ancestors go to the ancestors. Worshippers of the bhutas, that's the elements and all of that, will go to the bhutas. And my worshippers come to me. So if you really want Bhagwan Krishna to accept all that you have to do, don't go and hold down the grass and say, "Papa, please forgive me now. What I tell you the other day, I didn't mean that." That's too late now. You had the karma to pay for that already. So where are you going to ask for forgiveness? So that is why it is important that you be very careful how you talk to people now. Because you could go and plant 25 kush grass and hug it up and say, "Forgive me, forgive me." All the 25 people or 100 people who you vex with, and they're dead and they're gone. They can't forgive you now. His Lord Krishna had to help you build a shield for when that negative vibration, but the negative vibration is going to come back. Because that's the law of the universe. What you send to the universe is going to come back to you. And knowing this, you have to build your shield. And that is where your jap comes into place. And that is where your chanting of the Lord's name coming in place. Very important. And all of us knows that we have done some wrongs at some given point in time. So accept those wrongs and start now building your shield by chanting the name of God, doing your job and everything else. Any other question? Uh-huh. A pinda is always welcome by Lord Krishna. That is his sattvic food. But believe you me, the sattvic pinda is the one without the urdi. When you get the pure rice flour, that is the ground rice, honey, ghee, and sugar, that is a complete sattvic food. And any sattvic offering is wonderful. Well, the black till is related to Lord Vishnu for sustenance, so that has nothing to do with any negative. Lord Vishnu is not tamogun, right? Lord Vishnu is satogun. And that's why the book tell you here, just tell you here, black or the sesame seed which has the color of the cow urine. It is very important to use in all the offerings that you're making for on behalf of the ancestors. I heard somebody say put it in the water and don't sprinkle it on the food. You know. But the food is being offered to Lord Krishna. It's not being offered to anybody else. And Lord Krishna is the same Lord Vishnu. So nothing wrong. Black or the one that is close to white, that it says the one that carries the color of the urine of the cow. So you're free to offer pinda? Oh. No, pinda is a sattvic offering, yes. Mm-hmm. No. It's city soul. It's city soul. No, but they did say the soul. You feel you come like a thumb? Let me get a question clear again. Right. Well, that is the houses of Yamraj. They have coal, they have fire, they have heat, they have everything. That is why Ravida say you had to give him a slippers to cross there. It is quite clear in the Bhagavad Gita, right, that Atma cannot be drowned by water. It's not affected by water. It is not affected by coal. It is not affected by heat. So it's not afraid of the fire. And it is not afraid of any sophisticated weapon. Because of the fact that that Atma that we talk about is the absolute Lord. Is the vasanas. Is your mental state. Will feel the heat. And probably you will be reborn in certain areas. Into the hellish condition. Right? The vasanas now are being created by your ego. I, mine, you and yours. It has been created by ignorance. I didn't know. And I do it. I didn't know that food more than 3 hours old becomes, deteriorating. Then again, the third one is the mind. Living on emotions, attachment and sentiments. Rajiv is my only son. Let me give him the van leg, go and do a crazy thing he had to do and come back home. You know? That my only son is 2 daughters and a son I have. Like, do what you have to do now. Attachment, feelings, sentiments. This create the vasanas. The vasanas are the reactions to all the actions that you're performing. Accumulating reactions. That is what is also known as karma. To burn out, accumulated. The vasanas. So the vasanas, right. So we had to connect Garud Puran with Bhagavad Gita, and then we will understand what happens. Yeah, but the soul will not feel anything. No, all the soul does energize the vasanas. It does not. No, the whole world, Jiva Atma and Param Atma, is not anything different, you know. It is one substance. It is one, it will break up. The kalsa. When the potter make the kalsa, it's the same air inside the kalsa, it's the same air outside. Right? It's no different. But it get trapped in here a little bit with the walls of the kalsa. And from the moment you crash that, it goes back out because it's the same thing. It had no problem to think back. But when the air, the kalsa, is moving now from one place to the other, that air goes with it, the space within. But if it closes in, total closing, then it will be trapped. But if it is not, the air continues to flow. It's the same thing with Atma. Atma is never trapped. And, you know, when we ask, and we all try to believe that Atma is a small spark living within us. And if Atma is a small spark living within us, then it means it is limited. So it is this same total energy. Can you say, let's say, is the mind smaller than the body? Your body could only take you from here to there. Your body can take you from here to San Fernando over a period of time. Right? But your mind can take you from here to San Fernando in 1 second. Right? So, the subtler the substance, it is the wider it becomes. So this body is gross. The mind is subtler to the body. So the mind will envelop the body. So when you talk about your aura, what you think you're talking about is the different vibrations of your mind that people feel. And somebody down way, the good developed person, might be out Mapipi Junction there and feel your aura from here. Because his mind has a wider scope, a wider plane to touch. Yeah. So the mind now becomes more subtle. You know, it is subtler than this body, which is gross. So it envelopes this body. And Atma is not conditioned by time and space. So it just comes and it energizes you to move forward. But chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita tells us and answer that question for you. Chapter 16 or 17? 15. Give me 1 minute, I'll get it for you. 15:7. Tomorrow I'll get that one for you, but I'll tell you what it says. I wanted to give it direct from the book. Chap, that verse of the Bhagavad Gita tells us, is 15, chapter 15, somewhere down there. It says, just as the wind blowing across, whatever the order it meets, it has to take it, and it will go whether it like to take it or not. So too, when one dies, whatever is on the mind and the senses, the craving of the senses and the desires of the mind, immediately transfer itself. Or the word migrate, I think the word migrate is being used. Migrate itself to the new body immediately. So that tells to us that small thumb that they're talking about is the rebirth. So is a physical body coming to get that pressure and that pain? Because nothing else could feel that pain. If soul feel that pain, then something wrong. The mind doesn't feel no pain. Right? The mind will become disturbed. Your emotions bring pain because of a disturbed mind. But as the physical body feels that, your brain feels that, the physical part of you. The intellect does not feel pain. And this physical body dies and finish when we reach on the cremation site. Because we do the 5 months ill, you know, idam bhyo prithvi shanti trishtatvam. Oh, earth, leave and come back and go back where you come from. You know, idam bhyo jalam shanti trishtatvam, idam bhyo agani shanti trishtatvam. All these you ask them to go back there, and then you take the almuk and you put it on the camphor in the mouth, and the body gone to ash. So that which could have felt pain and everything else have gone. So what takes, it's a new body now which has to be formed and created to go through this hellish condition. So it's a new life going from there. So it's a physical form have to take that. It cannot be Atma, mind, or intellect. The ego. Them thing, fire, water, sophisticated weapon can't do that. You send a thought out there and take a gun and shoot the thought. Nothing will happen to it, but shoot you. You there? So is the physical body feels these pain. No, does not feel the pain. The soul is not separate. No, the soul is not within us. The soul is not within us. Water is an object, right? Coming from the water is the vapor which will go wider than where the object could go. Turpan, the heat takes it and carries it further than what the water could really go. So to this physical body, that energy of God is not within this body. That energy of God totally surrounds us. So that is the absolute Lord still pushing us. But it has now taken and pushing as an individual person. So Atma, it would not feel the pain at no given time. It have to be a physical form. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And that is why the Garud Puran say a body like a finger thumb is being thing. Because none of these will feel the pain. So that was what they say. They bring it now like a finger thumb. So it's the finger thumb, whatever the finger thumb is, whatever body that is what feeling the pain. If it is a replica of your body or what. But Atma has no part there to feel anything. Because Atma is the fire, he is the water, he is the ice, he is the weapon, he is everything. He is absolute. There is no second. Huh? No sub-body. What sub-body? A new body. No sub-body. A sub-body is a different thing. Chapter 2, verse 22 says, just as we change new clothes, Atma leaves from one body to another, changing the body to continue with its journey. So it's a new body. It is not a replica. A sub-body is one going to represent this one. No, this one done. There's a new body going to go. But from all my studies of the Atma and the physical body, Atma would not feel any pain at no given time. And Atma, Jiva Atma and Paramatma is not two separate things. They use two different terms to help you understand that what stops working with you, what Atma touches, is the prana. And that is what I was going to really start with today, explaining the prana. What the whole universe talks about, the breath of life. So we'll do that tomorrow because I think we're after 9 now. So let us all put the hands together, close the physical eyes as we pray. Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormaya Mritam Gamaya Om Tvameva Matang Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhum Cha Sika Tvameva Tvameva Vidyam Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Devam Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem se bole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai, Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Sitaram to all.